Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and again, welcome back to night 4 as we conclude our first week of our original work series right here at the Fort Worth Community Arts Center. We've had 3 great scripts read to us already. Again, tonight is the 4th of 8. We'll pick up with 4 more next week, also along with the Texas Book of Beasts, which still runs for 2 more weekends. We have a wonderful company tonight and another great script. We are so very excited to have from the west side of Dallas-Fort Worth, Weatherford, the one and only Theater Off the Square, ladies and gentlemen, taking on Kinda Human by Anne Valentino tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the reading.
Hi, I'm Laurie Jones. I'm president of the Board of Directors of Theater Off the Square. We are a nonprofit community theater in Weatherford, Texas, housed in an old church turned theater. We are an all-volunteer company in its 24th year, and with many more to come, we hope. So I hope you enjoy our reading tonight. We're going to introduce ourselves now, starting with this gentleman.
Nikolai Braswell,
Louis Schwartz,
Lyle Justice,
Christian Lopez,
Jordan Mayhar,
Anastasia Braswell,
Dana Powers,
Jennifer Brown,
Kaylee Powers.
Act 1, Scene 1. Salt Lake City Press Conference, 1982. There's a podium with 3 chairs set up. Members of the lesbian chorus occupy the chairs. Jennings, an intensely ambitious researcher in his 40s, stands at the podium. He is wearing a suit and tie. He's obviously annoyed at having to take time away from the lab to address the press corps, though he does seem to enjoy the sound of his own voice.
We have time for one more question. You, go ahead.
Is it true that the artificial heart which is to be implanted into Mr. Clark was first tested on a cow in some secret laboratory? And is it also true that Mr. Clark initially refused the heart?
There is no secret laboratory. The project is public knowledge. And Barney Clark did express some concerns at first, but those were quickly put to rest. He and his wife have placed their complete trust in the hands of our highly skilled surgical team. In the interest of full transparency, the current test subject is, yes, a cow, a male Holstein calf. He's been alive for 121 days following the implantation of a total artificial heart. The subject is doing quite well, and we have high hopes for his continued survival. Something to think about here, folks. In 1971, a group of scientists asked whether it would ever be possible to get over 100 hours survival in a test subject implanted with an artificial heart. Today, just 11 years later, we are 2 months away from giving a human a second chance at life. Barney Clark, a 61-year-old dentist from Seattle, will make the ultimate contribution in the name of scientific advancement. Very soon, the world will be able to see this heart beating inside of a man.
Lights dim. Jennings exits. At Lights Up, lesbian chorus members are facing the audience.
You know what else was created in a secret laboratory? Frankenstein. A bunch of dead people parts sewn together into one scary-ass monster.
They're implanting a mechanical apparatus into a guy with a bad heart. Hardly makes him a monster. It's science.
Well, it's a fucking freak show if you ask me. They're playing God.
They're saving lives.
Either way, it's historic.
Yes, it is. Men making history. Straight white men putting an artificial heart into another straight white man.
Would you want them sticking that thing in your chest? Did you see it? Looks exactly like that creature's head from The Fly. Help me, please, help me.
Point taken.
Blackout. Scene 2. Setting. An otherwise abandoned section of St. Mark's Hospital, the location of Jennings' laboratory 4 weeks earlier. There are cabinets and a counter along the back wall of the lab. Scientific paraphernalia is strewn across the countertop. In the front left corner, there is a glass enclosure which houses a Holstein calf. The cow is the centerpiece of the lab. Next to the cow tank is a large unit that resembles a refrigerator. Numerous lines and tubes connect the cow to this unit. Diana Vinciguerra, a research fellow in her mid-20s, nervously enters. She wears a lab coat, scrub pants, and sneakers. Harrison, a senior research fellow in his early 30s, is busily surveying a clipboard, too busy to notice Diana walk in. Harrison is also in a white lab coat, but wears neatly pressed khakis and loafers. He has on fairly thick glasses, and he is fastidious in both his appearance and manner. Diana approaches the cow tank. She reaches out to touch the subject and just barely makes contact when Harrison reacts.
Stop! Back away from the cow!
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
You didn't know? You didn't know?
No, I'm the new research fellow, Diana Vinciguerra.
I see. Well then, a research fellow should instinctively know not to interfere with the test subject. Are you aware, Dr. Vinciguerra, that the human touch emits infrared radiation at a wavelength of approximately 12 micron? And are you aware of the impact that infrared radiation, even at 12 micron, has on the subject's dermal extracellular matrix? Any disturbance, regardless of how small, can have serious ramifications. If you cannot grasp...
Okay, I've got it. I'm sorry. I didn't catch your name.
Harrison exaggeratedly points to his name badge.
Harrison. Dr. Buckley. I thought I was supposed to be meeting Dr. Jennings.
Wait.
What?
Something's wrong. He doesn't look right.
Who? The cow?
Of course the... Would you just please grab the... Damn it, what on earth did you do?
Nothing. I just got here.
Jennings
What?
rushes in.
What is going on? What happened?
It's his oxygen levels. They've dropped well below normal range.
Jennings puts on latex gloves and begins to examine the calf.
Okay, wait a minute. Everyone just calm down for a second.
Jennings grabs one of the lines going into the refrigerator-shaped unit and makes some adjustments. Alarm quiets.
What is it? What's...
He has an abscess where this pneumatic drive line is coming in. See? The line's compromised, and I'm fairly certain there's an infection. Let's start a course of penicillin, and I think we're going to have to go in surgically.
Is he going to be okay?
I'm sorry, you are...
Diana Vinciguerra. It's an honor, sir. I just want to thank you for having...
Fine. Welcome aboard. We're a little busy right now, Miss...
Vinciguerra.
Great. Harrison, let's hit this area with an antibiotic ointment and temporarily wrap it. I want to drain it this afternoon. What is that god-awful...
Jennings realizes that the cow is defecated.
Miss, Vento, you there, if you would.
What should I use to...
Closet in the corner.
Diana retrieves supplies from the closet and proceeds to clean up after the cow. Harrison and Jennings are huddled together, engaged in discussion. A truly humiliating moment for Diana.
Where should I...
There's a receptacle right outside the door.
Diana walks out, then returns.
I appreciate you pitching in like that. It's all about Tennyson. Eye on the prize.
Tennyson?
Alfred Lord Tennyson, the calf.
Oh, I didn't know his name.
No matter. The important thing is that we're all on a cohesive team working toward the greater goal here. The cow sitters are just as important to the process as the head surgeons. No task is too menial. Understood? Good. Those new numbers by 2 p.m., yes?
Of course, Dr. Jennings.
Jennings leaves.
Hopefully next time you'll be more careful. Please try and refrain from touching the subject unless directed to do so. I will fill you in your cow sitting duties after I finish attending to this abscess. In the meantime, why don't you take a walk and familiarize yourself with our little section of the hospital. Vending machines are at the end of the second hall on your right.
But I...
A Dr. Pepper would be great, thank you.
Diana slowly makes her way out of the lab. Blackout. Scene 3. Setting. Diana and Nye's apartment. Kitchen. That evening. At rise against the back wall are cabinets and a countertop. The same refrigerator from the lab is also a part of the ladies' kitchen. There's a second-hand table and chairs that have seen better days. Nye, a soft butch in her late 20s/early 30s, is seated, listening as Diana recounts her first day in the lab. She has on jeans and a t-shirt, one with a feminist or otherwise socially inspired message.
And then they just...
Breathe. Just take a second and breathe. Okay. Now tell me, what happened?
Shit is what happened.
Huh?
Literal shit. The cow shit in the lab on the floor, and they ordered me to clean it up. Do you know how humiliating that was? That was my introduction. How do you do? Now, if you wouldn't mind, please go and shovel up the shit.
Are you serious?
Dr. Jennings didn't even bother to get my name. Just told me to go clean up the cow crap and then started talking about my small purpose, actually, menial. That was the word he used. My menial role in the grand scheme of things and how everyone on the team contributes. Top dogs right down to the cow sitters. He said that. Cow sitters. Am I just a cow sitter?
Well, I don't know.
And that was it. Like I was some 5-year-old instead of a doctor with a medical degree. And then Harrison, don't get me started on him.
Who's Harrison?
12 micron. 12 micron? 12 fucking micron. Are you kidding me?
You've got to chill, babe. I don't understand half of what you're saying.
It's not fair, Naya. Do you know how hard I've worked to get here? And it's not that I expected to be top dog or even middle dog or even a freaking puppy dog. But I didn't think I'd be the shit shoveler. I didn't think I'd be invisible.
Why didn't you say something then?
Say what exactly?
Say, oh hell no, I'm not cleaning up after this pig.
Cow.
Sorry, after this cow. Demand they include you in the conversation.
It's not how it works. Either you're one of them or you're not. Either they see you or they don't.
Either you're a man or you're not.
Sadly.
I'm so sorry, babe. It's not right. And I'm pissed off for you. This is bullshit. No pun intended. This is the 80s. Didn't our grandmothers and mothers already pay our dues? And our daughters' dues and their daughters' dues? Shit shoveler? Seriously?
It's okay. I just...
No, it's not okay. Dr. Jennings, who the hell is he?
Well, he invented the artificial...
And what was the other prick's name?
Harrison.
10 to 1 odds Harrison spent his entire school career sitting in the front of the class with that, oh, teacher, call on me shit, and then went and got himself punched for it during recess. And what the hell were you saying? What about 12 microns?
The human touch admits an average thermal radiation wavelength of 12 micron. Enough apparently that could, God knows how, interfere with Tennyson's measurements.
Tennyson?
Alfred Lord Tennyson, the aforementioned defecating cow.
Interesting choice. And so, what about these microns?
I barely touched him.
Who, Harrison?
No, the cow. Harrison starts screaming at me, saying how I could be so stupid as to endanger the entire project because I didn't know that the human touch radiated 12 micron. Blah, 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 blah.
Next time you tell him. You say, I will touch this goddamn cow if I want to touch this cow. I am all about cow touching. In fact, I will feel the motherfucker up if I want to.
Sit down. What am I going to do? I don't want to just clean up after a cow. I want to contribute to something meaningful.
I know, baby.
Okay. Enough of this. I'm done. I vented. Thank you for that. I wallowed in my professional self-pity. Now I'm moving on. This is my chance, and I do not intend to screw it up. In every generation, there is some major scientific breakthrough, some pioneering moment. This is that breakthrough, and I'm part of it, even if that means shoveling shit, for now.
But you really need to.
I know. Speak up, and I will eventually. I will. I just...
Diana walks over to the kitchen table and picks up a piece of paper.
Does this say my dad called?
Yep.
What did he... did you talk about... You didn't say anything.
I don't know what he wanted. We didn't talk other than to say, hello. Tell Diana her dad called. Okay, will do. And I did not say anything about who or what I was to you. Oh, wait. Unless you count our brief conversation about your black belt in cunnilingus and the fact that I've nicknamed your tits Sodom and Gomorrah.
That's not funny.
You know, I don't get you. You have all these progressive ideas and dreams and plans, and you talk a good game. Shit, you talk a really good game. I mean, for Christ's sake, we live together. Me, the dictionary definition of a commitment phobe, cohabitates with you. And yet, you can't even be honest with your family about who I am.
It's just my father is so...
Repressed, overbearing, judgmental.
Catholic.
Right. Catholic, she says.
You don't know him.
No, I don't know him. Haven't had the chance. Don't know anyone in your family. Or anyone you know, for that matter. All of them Catholic, too? Wasn't your mom Catholic? You said you came out to her right before she... Fuck. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. It gets so frustrating. The other night, the group was actually talking about this, about how one of our community's biggest problems is just that we keep getting in our own way.
Ah, the infamous group. The Amazonian bastions of homosexual protocol. Enlighten me. How exactly do you get in your own way?
Don't be glib. And it's our own way, our community. Us, you, me, lesbians. Remember those? What you happen to be, at least as far as a select few are aware.
Not fair.
Of course it's not fair. Who the fuck said any of this was fair? I sure as hell didn't. I didn't pick you up at that tucked away at some back alley gay bar that night, the one with the windows all blacked out, and say, hey, run off with me and we'll fall madly in love and settle down and play house, and we can roast Saturday dinners between our families, and then maybe one day raise kids and send them to school, their two mommies waving them off on the bus that first day of kindergarten, and then we will live happily ever after. Everything hunky-dory and normal, and above all else, fair. Nope, never said that. In fact, if I recall, what I did say was something along the lines of, am I really your first? Are you sure this is what you want? Do you know what kind of life you're asking for here? Just coming back to this apartment with me, touching my hand and looking into my eyes with that look and kissing me like you're kissing me. You know what kind of book you're writing right now? Makes War and Peace look like Sunday comics. It's fucking hard, this life. Whenever it's not breaking your heart into a million pieces. Never said anything about fair, Diana.
Diana walks to the other end of the room, picks up a necklace with a cross on it that is draped over her over a picture of her mother.
My mom, she, well, I mean, I did tell her, but she didn't hear. No, that's not true either. She heard, but she didn't.
What? She didn't what?
Nothing, it's not important. I'm just tired. I'm just really, really tired. How about I go take a shower and then we can figure out what to do for dinner?
Sure, sounds good. Hey, Di?
Yeah?
Your dad and what's his name? Harrison, the artificial heart guy. They will hear you, but only what you tell them.
Right. Shower.
Naya and Diana exit. Lesbian chorus enters.
Well, this is going swimmingly so far.
How long have these two been together?
6 or 7 months.
And they're already shacked up, moving a little fast, aren't they? When will lesbians finally get that we are the architects of our own stereotypes?
Well stated.
Besides, they're still both so young, so much untapped potential yet to explore.
Blackout. Scene 4. Setting. The lab. Approximately 3 weeks later. At Rise, Harrison and Diana are both focused on their work.
Did you do these tables?
Yes, yesterday. What's that supposed to mean?
It means You know, you do that often.
Make tables?
Assign undue intentionality.
What are you talking about, Harrison?
A can never just be a with you. An okay always has to have an ulterior motive. An I see is immediately a nefarious affirmation of the patriarchy. Tell me, Diana, after hours, do you happen to frequent dark, catacomb-like spaces that require a secret knock, perchance? The fortress of a disgruntled sisterhood planning to educate all of us poor, uninformed males about the power of the feminine mystique?
Let me guess. The only feminist text you've ever heard of?
A is just that. Did some tables. Okay, as in I wonder what prompted you to take the initiative. As in are these even relevant? As in I wonder if she's going to mistake my for something other than exactly what it is.
I'm half sick of shadows, said the lady.
What was... Wait, did you hear that?
What?
The man talking, the British accent, the one that was just...
British accent? Everything okay?
I swear I just... Never mind.
Diana regroups, yet still looks around suspiciously.
Tennyson's exercise records showed that an 8% incline in his oxygen levels began to...
Right in here. Watch your step. Now, here's the lab in which we house Harrison. Harrison, allow me to introduce you to Dr. Clark. Barney Clark, this is Dr. Harrison Buckley. Harrison is the senior research fellow spearheading the anesthesia protocol on this particular study.
Barney, a 61-year-old dentist, enters begrudgingly, relying on Jennings for assistance. He's wearing a suit that looks a size too large for him. He's balding and has a jaundiced appearance.
Pleasure to meet you, Dr. Clark. Dr. Jennings has told me all about your case, and I truly believe that we can...
Jennings, positioned behind Barney, is shaking his head to silence Harrison.
Would you like to meet Alfred Lord Tennyson?
The famous bionic cow? Let's see him.
Barney makes his way toward the cow. Diana steps in front.
Dr. Clark, hi, I'm...
Oh, yes, sorry. This is Donna Venezuela.
Miss Venezuela, nice to meet you.
It's actually...
Excuse us, Dr. Clark, right this way. This is Alfred Lord Tennyson.
Barney stares at the calf, almost as if he's looking into a mirror. He reaches out to touch the animal, but then thinks better of it, or perhaps is afraid to do so.
Dr. Clark? Barney?
Barney ignores him.
Harrison, are those yesterday's numbers?
Yes.
Impressive tables. The numbers aren't exactly where I'd like to see them, but they'll work for now. They're improving. And I like the initiative. Well done.
Dr. Jennings, I'm...
Yes, Miss Venezuela.
Harrison shakes his head to silence Diana.
Nothing, sir.
Now, Dr. Clark, the latest measurements suggest that Tennyson's tidal volumes and respiratory rates are in a normal range, which means...
No.
Pardon?
No, I'm not going to do it.
What do you mean you're not going to?
No procedure. I'm not going to be the human guinea pig or human calf, as the case may be. I know you and your team were hopeful, but I just can't go through with it.
Think of what this
you
could
have to
mean
see
for
Tennyson on the
science,
treadmill.
for medical progress, others in your condition.
Did you say treadmill?
According to his recent numbers, Tennyson is able to maintain his cardiac output walking at an 8% incline, showing that the Jennings 12 heart is working. His hemoglobin concentrations have also been steadily normal. The cow is getting stronger, slowly but still. He's getting stronger, according to the recorded data.
And translate, please, young lady. What does that mean for me exactly?
Jennings and Harrison both encourage her to go on.
Honestly, I don't know. To extrapolate the data from animal subject to human is far from exact, and I can't make any accurate further or future predictions, but I am sure that Dr. Jennings...
If I may, while Miss Venezuela's crystal ball may be currently in the shop, I assure you that the data we've collected, not only on Tennyson, but on the numerous subjects prior to this one, bodes quite well for a successful outcome. Dr. Clark, Barney, I can't promise you that this artificial heart will give you another 5 years, or even another 2, but it will give you some more time. In that, I am quite confident. It's your only option. Sales pitch aside, it's the last chance you have for any measurable amount of life left. And as hard as this may be to hear, more important than whatever months you have remaining, this truly is your moment to do something profound for the world of medicine.
I don't think I can...
Listen, if you die of congestive heart failure, you die in obscurity. It's blunt, I know. I'm sorry. But you will pass on just as another older guy with a bad heart. If you do this, if you become the first recipient of a permanent heart, you will be remembered, and I can promise you that. People, those who are facing certain death sentence before you will sing your praises. The scientific community will pay homage to you. Newspapers will eulogize you. And on the front page, not just as some footnote, section D, 2-sentence obituary blurb, Barney, the Jennings 14 is going to change history, with or without you. If you don't do this, the next patient will. Don't you want to be the one who is indexed in the history books?
I thought it was the Jennings 12.
That's the prototype we're using on the test subjects. You would be receiving the Jennings 14.
What happened to Jennings 13?
13? Really? Talk about tempting fate.
What? Never mind. Look, Mark, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to see the lab and meet the cow and all. And I get what you're saying. I really do. I know what this could mean for science, and I know it can buy me some time. But I'm sorry, I'm just not your Frankenstein.
I see. Well, this is certainly disappointing. There's no changing your mind?
What's the difference between me and this cow?
What do you mean?
Other than we're different species and I walk upright and don't shit in the field, what is the fundamental difference? Age, health, stamina. The calf is young. He was healthy going into this procedure. He's a far more powerful animal than I am. And if he's not coming through with flying colors, if his numbers aren't what you expected, then what happens to a frail old bastard like me?
Age is not important. Data is.
Ha!
No, hear me out. The results we've gotten so far suggest that...
No, Dr. Jennings. I'm going to love my wife and hug my kids and face my death with a clear head and a wholly human body. One that may be in rough shape, but that's still intact for the time being. Happy are men that have the power to die. I believe that's from your Alfred Lord Tennyson.
Well, I suppose we're done here then.
I'm sorry for all your effort and time.
This way, please.
Barney and Jennings exit.
For God's sake, if you can't put out the fire, at least refrain from fanning the flames.
Excuse me?
If anything, you just made things worse with Clark. You can't just stand there hemming and hawing like some confused schoolgirl. His life is in our hands. If you're sputtering and backpedaling, what is he going to think? Be confident in your evaluation,
In my tables?
Diana, this is a team effort. Try not to forget that.
Harrison grabs clipboard from her and exits.
4 grey walls and 4 grey towers overlook a space of flowers.
What the? Who's there? Who just said that?
Underneath the bearded barley, the reaper, reaping late and early, hears her ever chanting cheerily like an angel singing clearly.
Come out. I've got a baseball bat here.
Hardly.
I don't know who you are, but
'Tis I, Alfred Lord Tennyson. Don't you recognize the poem?
What the fuck?
Here, look, wait. I shall try this a different way. Me, cow, Tennyson.
Diana drops the beaker, shattering it.
Well, now that... Look at what you've gone and done. Better clean that up before Harrison and that rather abrupt fellow come back.
No. I have breathed in some fumes or accidentally ingested some hallucinatory substance.
What in the world are you searching for?
Drugs, LSD, PCP, something. Anything that explains what the hell is happening to me right now.
Let's chalk it up to kismet. -1 on our unfortunate first meeting. So sorry about the whole shite on the floor thing. Couldn't be avoided. Now, if you'll just listen for a moment, I think that you... Well, what are you doing now?
Looking at your mouth. I hear words, but your lips aren't moving. It's a hallucination. It has to be.
Ah, yes, the Mr. Ed syndrome. The phenomenon of farm animals' mouths oddly and creepily, I might add, moving in time to human speech. Time driveth onward fast, and in a little while our lips are dumb.
What is that? How are you talking? What are you saying?
There's not to make reply, there's not to be... There's but to do and die.
Can you drop the iambic pentameter or whatever and speak in normal English, please? Just tell me what the fuck is going on here. I am not crazy. I'm not crazy.
If you wanted pithy and plain spoken, perhaps you should have named me something else, like a Jack Nicholson. Yes. I do mean Nicholson. Here's Johnny.
Okay, that's just disturbing.
Or how about Bugs Bunny, eh? What's up, Doc?
Doc, just stop. Please tell me who you are.
'Tis I.
You are not Alfred Lord Tennyson, nor are you a cow. Who are you really? And how are you talking to me right now?
There are more things in heaven and earth, Diana, than are dreamt of in your philosophy.
Isn't that Shakespeare?
Of course. Everybody knows Shakespeare. That fellow with the heart condition, he knew my work.
Enough. This isn't happening. I'm overtired. I've been putting in 12 hours a day. My brain's getting fuzzy. That's all this is, a fuzzy brain.
Who are you trying to convince?
Shut up! Stop talking!
Diana collects her things and heads for the door.
I'm leaving. I'm going to go home and take a shower. Maybe have a drink. I will fall asleep and then this is all going to disappear because I am not crazy. I'm not crazy. There is no such thing as a poetry reciting cow. Now is there, right? right? Everything's gonna be okay, Diana.
Allow me one more thought before you take your leave. I sit with the helpless Bach, and with my heart I muse and say, O heart, how fares it with thee now, that thou should fail from thy desire?
Yeah, go. There are no talking cows. Cal thinks he knows poetry. Wants to recite me life lessons in verse. Cal thinks it's fucking Wordsworth.
Correction, that's Tennyson, Alfred Lord Tennyson.
Lesbian chorus enters to sweep up broken glass. Blackout. Scene 5. Setting, Naya and Diana's apartment. Later that evening. Outrise. It's late. The women are lying in bed. Post-coitus. It feels as though they are the only two people in the world at the moment. Except the lesbian chorus members are present as onlookers. 3 chairs are set up toward the right corner of the stage.
You said this one was going to be a sex scene, right? Oh boy, I have been waiting for this.
Voyeur, pervert. Don't you ever think of anything else? This stands to be a truly poignant moment in the development of their relationship, as well as the evolution of young Diana's sexual awareness.
As long as that awareness involves her growing affinity for strap-ons. Ladies, can we please just be quiet and watch?
I needed that.
I guess so. I don't think I've ever seen you so adventurous, so uninhibited, mama-like. It's gotten into you, and how can we make sure it keeps getting into you?
I knew we picked the right moment to drop in.
Nye, what if I were to tell you that? Well, Well, it's just that
What's going on?
Alfred Lord Tennyson spoke to me today.
Alfred Lord Tennyson, like the English poet guy? Oh, the cow. That's right, the cow in your lab. That's its name, right? Wait, what? It spoke to you?
Mm-hmm.
Like spoke, or like some cosmic come to Jesus moment in which your subconscious questions out loud the ethical ramifications of what you're doing in that laboratory?
No, wait, ethical ramifications? No, I mean it spoke, as in words spoke, as in not just in my head spoke, and in a British accent.
Sure, most cows I assume do speak in a British accent.
This isn't a joke.
I didn't say it was. You're telling me a cow spoke to you. Okay, so what did it say exactly?
It wasn't so much what he said as opposed to how he said it. He recited poetry, mainly Tennyson's.
Of course.
Then he did a Jack Nicholson impression. Bugs Bunny, too.
Wait. Oh my God. I can't even.
It does sound pretty comical, doesn't it? And he kept referring to me as Donna Venezuela.
The cow?
Oh, no, Dr. Jennings.
Donna Venezuela?
That's what he thinks my name is. Donna Venezuela.
The fuck? And what did the cow call you?
Oh, he knew my name.
Oh, of course he did. He was probably one of those omniscient kind of barn animals.
They completely lose it. Naya rolls over and grabs a joint from the nightstand. For the remainder of the scene, they pass it back and forth.
I love you, but you sound a little bit crazy. Or a lot bit crazy, I'm just saying.
Forget it. Forget I mentioned anything. I hear the words coming out of my mouth, and I'm seriously questioning my own mental stability right now.
No. We definitely need to talk about this.
Wait. Listen.
Let me guess. An Elvis impersonating cow.
No, do you hear that?
They both listen to the sound of someone urinating in the apartment above theirs and giggle.
It's a guy.
How can you tell?
Distant. Women sit. Breakfast doesn't have to travel as far before it hits the water. Guys stand. There's a much longer stream before it makes contact. This amplifies the force of that contact, which means a louder sound. Here, I thought you were a scientist.
Wow, I totally never thought of it like that. You're a fucking genius. Oh, I'm hungry.
You're always hungry, especially after sex. Especially after that kind of sex.
Cut it out. Do we have anything to eat?
If you count 3-day-old pizza, a jar of pickled beets, and some sort of beige casserole that looks a bit fuzzier on the edges, help yourself.
You know what I've been craving? My mom's sauce. I used to love Sundays because of that sauce. Her meatballs were out of this world.
You should make it. Did she show you how?
No, not before she wished. She did, however, reveal to me one of the more practical secrets of meatball making. She said, Diana, always make sure your meatballs are never perfectly round. Round meatballs are suspect meatballs.
Suspect meatballs.
Yeah, because if your meatballs are too round, it means you worked them between your hands for a long time.
And?
She said whenever she had perfectly round meatballs, all she could think about was how much the cook had handled them. And what if there were pieces of that person's like sloughed off skin in the mixture? Or what about after they went to the bathroom? What if they didn't wash their hands good enough and they're just gone, you know? Like they just gone number 2 or something? Then what's in the well-handed meatball?
So, let me get this straight. According to your mom, a round meatball meant that it was potentially tainted by pieces of dead skin and feces.
Yep. Oh, the urination round of name that genitalia and fecal-infested meatballs. Tell me, will it always be like this with us?
It's only gonna get better, baby. It's a good thing I love you so much, otherwise I'd put your cow-talking ass out on the street.
Diana playfully hits her.
Ouch!
Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm going to see my dad tomorrow after work. Yippee!
Ooh, sorry, I know how much you love those visits. This is probably a very stupid question. I don't even know why I'm asking, but are you finally going to tell him?
Uh-oh, here we go.
Well, you know I can't.
Forget it. Forget I said anything.
I love you. I love you. Can't that be enough for right now? And how many times do we have to have this conversation?
How many? How long, Di? How many closets? How many lies are we going to keep telling? Just fill me in, okay, so I can keep up with the charade of the moment.
Please, I just need...
No. I'm not going to do this now, I promise myself. Nope, it's all good. It's all good. Let it go. Let it go. Surround yourself with love. Become one with the universe. Feel the flow. I'll tell you what. After your visit with dear old Dad, come to the Rue. And listen to some of these women speak and hear what they have to say. You might just be enlightened, Doctor.
But I'm not a member of the illustrious group.
You have a pussy, don't you? And you like having other people's pussies in your face. I'd say you're a member.
Yes, she does. Okay. For you, I will. So, what's the secret knock?
Oh, I'll show you the secret knock.
They resume lovemaking.
Finally!
Well, as long as we're here.
Blackout. Scene 6. Setting. Diana's father's kitchen. The following day. At rise, along the back wall are cabinets. There is a table and some chairs in the center of the room, and we can see a phone mounted on the wall. Beneath the phone, there is a small table holding keys and a portrait of Diana's mother. On the kitchen table are newspapers, some random papers, /envelopes, etc. Diana's father, late 50s, is at the stove making tea. He has a very blue-collar appearance, and his speech/mannerisms reflect this. Diana enters the apartment.
Did you pay your respects to your mother?
Oh, sorry.
Diana walks back to her mother's photo and performs the sign of the cross, then kisses 2 fingers and touches the photo. Kettle whistle blows. Diana sits uncomfortably. Her father eyes her somewhat suspiciously. He retrieves the kettle and pours their tea.
So, now how's things going at the lab? You know, I read the other day about this hospital in Germany, or maybe it was Austria, wherever it was. They separated those, what are they called? Siamese twins. 2 boys. Yeah, connected at the backside, I think. Maybe the hips. Yeah, I don't remember. But it's something, huh? Yeah. Do you do stuff like that?
No, not exactly. I am working on an anesthesia protocol. I'm an anesthesiology fellow. It's for, well, I can't say too much about the specifics of the exact project, but...
Can't say much. I'm your father. Who am I going to run and tell about it? The newspapers? The president? The Pope?
Of course I don't think you're going to tell. Look, I just signed some confidentiality forms, and I don't want to...
Yeah. Can you tell me anything? I'd like to know what my daughter does with her days. What that fancy medical school education got her.
What I can say is that I work with an organ implantation team that is currently studying the logistics of...
1 second. Hey! What's a good word, buddy? No, just your sister's here. Yeah, she decided to visit the old man, finally. Yeah, miracles do happen. Yeah, wait, you got it? You got it! Oh, that's my boy. I knew they'd give it to you. Well, who were they going to give it to? That loser Steve? Yeah? Yeah. Proud of you. Oh, hey, let me go and visit with your sister. Yeah, I'll tell her. Okay. Yeah, hey, your brother says hi.
And
And what?
he obviously called with some news.
Oh, yeah, he got promoted. Ain't that something?
Still at the meat processing plant?
Yeah, where else is he going to be? Been there for nearly 10 years. They respect him down there. And look, he just got a big promotion.
To what?
Supervisor, quality control. He's a bigwig now.
Hey, someone's got to make sure no flies buzzing around the carcasses, eh? Head fly swatter in charge.
Hey, your brother works his ass off at that plant.
I didn't mean that. I was just joking.
He's been promoted. That's something. Him and Judy are taking the kids camping up to Yellowstone this summer. That's something. Those two kids adore the hell out of their dad. Something. Don't come in here and look down your nose at him. Not in this house. Not all of us can have some hoity-toity education, Diana. I'm proud of all you've done, okay? And I'm proud of him, too. One of my children is not better than the other. A family. That's an amazing accomplishment, too. Don't forget that. And I know she would...
Do you know what I do, Dad? I am a part of a team that is getting ready to implant a mechanical heart into a human being. A total mechanical heart. Do you know what this means for science? For the future of medicine? People wait years to get a heart, and more often than not, they die because they can never find a donor. But now with this... Did you hear what I said? A human heart! We're implanting a completely synthetic heart into a person.
Dominic processes sides of beef for a living. Gets up with the sun, kisses his kids, kisses his wife goodbye, and goes into the plant knowing he's going to come out covered in blood and guts and shit and God knows what else. Then he goes home, cleans up, sits down with his family, shares a meal with them, helps the kids with their schoolwork, takes the trash out, makes love to his wife, probably, I imagine. Turns out the light and goes to bed.
And what's the point of this little synopsis?
Not a synopsis, a life, Diana. Maybe if you didn't see everything as a synopsis, it's ironic. Your brother works in the trenches of death, and his life is far more alive than yours. A mechanical heart. You think you can play God over there in that lab? What do you think you're going to do?
Come on, you're not so naive as to think that science isn't going to allow people to live longer, live better.
Don't you dare call your father naive. Live how? With mechanical hearts? With all the artificial parts? Is that how we're supposed to live? Better? Make us all robots? Sliced up, diced up Frankensteins?
Not robots, not Frankensteins. This is the preservation of humankind we're talking about. It's what I do, it's my life.
No, it's not a life. Dom's got a life. And you got what? Playing with tinker toys and human chests? Where's your husband? Where are your kids? Where the hell... All she ever wanted for you was a family, a home. Yeah, we're both proud of the doctor stuff, but couldn't you just have been a regular small-town doctor, raising your kids and packing their lunches and...
No, Dad. That's not me. It never has been.
Damn it, Diana! You go around as if biology and Jesus have nothing to do with any of it.
That's because biology and Jesus don't have anything to do with it. Not the way you mean.
What did your mother say to you?
When? About what?
You were the last one with her. You got the benefit of her final words. What was that conversation about?
I already told you. She just said, I love you all.
No, that's not all she said. She told me. She told me she was going to talk to you about her wishes for you, for your future, about what she knew, about what you needed to be happy. A husband, a family, a life. Not messing around in some lab with people from 2001 Space Odyssey. She was going to talk to you.
She didn't. No, she just...
What did she say to you?
I already told you.
Phone rings.
You better get that. I've got to go anyway.
Diana leaves.
Hey! Yeah, he got it. Yeah, what do you know?
Blackout. Scene 7. Setting, the room. A bookshop by day, a lesbian gathering spot by night. A safe space, later that evening. At Rise, there's a podium and several chairs set up. The members of the lesbian chorus, along with Naya, are standing around mingling. Diana, meanwhile, is outside surreptitiously pacing back and forth, attempting to peek in while trying to make sure no one sees her. She might have on a trench coat with the collar pulled up high or a hat pulled down over her eyes. Naya, having spotted her, finally comes out.
Will you get your ass in here? What are you doing?
Well, I wasn't sure if I was just supposed to walk in or wait for you, and then
And who the hell are you supposed to be? Matahari?
No, I'm not supposed to be any...
Just come on in, we're letting all the heat out.
They enter the room. Lesbian 1 is now at the podium.
Ladies, let's have a seat, please. All right, tonight I have something special planned for us to do together.
I bet you do.
Very funny. We'll talk later. Seriously though, tonight I want us to look at the source of our power. Sappho, our foremother, emphasized love between women in the poetry she wrote. But it wasn't just about hypersexualized depictions of women loving women. Sappho's work was also focused on lesbians owning who they are, what they think, and what they have to contribute to this world. We contribute a lot to the world, ladies, a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
We aren't just hypersexualized anomalies to be shunned by the normal folk. We are not just sex maniacs eschewing families in favor of fucking.
Though I'm always down for the latter.
We are thoughtful, powerful, and competent human beings, and we are fierce intellectual contributors. Now, you will find a mirror and flashlight over on the discounted titles table. Tonight, we're going to examine our vaginas. No, listen! The vagina remains a mystery to many women, unbelievably even to many lesbians, and yet it is both the most spiritual and most visceral part of who we are. We don't know our own vaginas, and that is sad. Reaching the kind of comfort level that allows you to look closely at your personal power source and learn the lay of the land, so to speak, is a significant consciousness-raising step.
Can we use the buddy system?
Trust me, ladies, you'll thank me. Now, this is a safe space. We are all, I assume, comfortable with the nudity of other women.
More than comfortable.
But if you would like some privacy, there's a restroom and also the office in the back.
Naya, what the hell? I'm not going to examine my hoo-ha in a mirror in front of a bunch of strange women.
Did you just say hoo-ha? Hoo-ha. I'm sorry, aren't you like a doctor?
Well, I thought this group was all about the enlightenment of the oppressed lesbians of Salt Lake City. I am not at all comfortable just dropping trowel and sticking a mirror up between my legs. If I'd known that this is what...
Wouldn't you just shut up and examine your fucking hoo-ha, Donna Venezuela?
Holy shit, will you look at that?
Naya and Diana leave the room. They are smiling and holding hands as it is relatively late and the streets look empty. Naya leans over and kisses Diana. Diana smiles and clutches Naya's arm, unseen by either woman. Jennings is walking across the street and witnesses the two women holding hands, kissing, etc. Initially, he looks confused, but this is eventually supplanted by outrage and disgust. Blackout. Scene 8. Setting, the lab a couple of days later. At Rise, Harrison and Diana are busy about their work, trying to stay out of each other's way. Jennings enters.
Harrison, how are we looking today? Donna?
Dr. Jennings, it's actually Diana Vinciguerra.
Sorry. Yes, of course. Well then, my busy worker bees. Tomorrow night, we've been invited to the Celebration of Life fundraising dinner, put on by the hospital, attended by some of the most affluent men in Salt Lake City, trophy wives firmly clamped to their arms. Beyond sizable wallets, the donors have one very key thing in common. They fancy themselves scions of science, and they want their names attached to the most publicized events. The first permanent artificial heart implantation is the best chance they've had since the moon landing. So tomorrow night, you two are the proverbial dog and pony show. Not to be too crass, but I think of them as curious little boys at a gentleman's club, their pockets filled with wads of cash, just waiting for that available G-string to place it in. You know what those are, don't you? The event is strictly black tie, tux, Harrison, and I expect you, Miss Vinciguerra, to be in the proper attire as well. I want you both on your best best ass-kicking behavior. These men are your paychecks. Just keep reminding yourselves of that. You may, of course, bring dates, assuming they're suitable.
As in,
if you need clarification, then perhaps your intended +1 might be better trotted out for the residents' monthly bowling night, or perhaps not at all.
but if we can't, I mean, what exactly do we?
Have you ever read the poem Ulysses?
Maybe, I don't remember.
No matter. It's Tennyson's best, my favorite, and why the current calf is his namesake. In this poem, Tennyson writes about one very specific aspect of Ulysses' character, his pride. Ulysses believed that he could best gods. Can you imagine the audacity? Believing yourself stronger and more powerful than God? Ulysses complains about being saddled with an aged wife and a weak son. No, his energy is far better spent on, I believe the line goes something like, work of notable note, not unbecoming men who walk with gods.
Powerful.
Yes, it is. Very. Work echoing that done by gods. That's what we are about. You understand?
I think I do.
Good. Ulysses. I want you to think like Ulysses.
Jennings turns to leave, stops, and snidely nods towards Diana.
Miss Vinciguerra.
He exits.
He's brilliant, isn't he? Not only a world-renowned researcher, but a poet, too. Who knew? I guess I better go see about a tux. I'm done for today, anyway.
Harrison leaves.
That is not my best poem, you know.
No, not now. This is not happening now.
Can we please move past all of this? I'm not really real nonsense.
But you can't. How are you even? You're just a cow.
Actually, I am a calf implanted with a pneumatic heart who's currently channeling the most beloved poet of the Victorian era. I think we're quite beyond just a cow.
Why? Why me?
It's becoming glaringly apparent that you could use some assistance here. I'm at your service.
I cannot believe I am talking to a fucking cow.
That's much better than fucking a talking cow. Sorry, too soon?
Okay, screw it. Whatever. I give up. Talking cow. Sure. Why not? So, Mr. Alfred Lord Tennyson, a.k.a. Lab Cow, how are you here to help me exactly?
That's more like it. Now, it would seem that you're having a wee bit of an identity crisis.
You mean the whole Dawn of Venezuela thing?
Yeah, no. I'm talking about something far bigger than that.
I don't understand.
Just hear me out. In fact, have a seat. Take a load off, as you Americans like to say. Admittedly, I am not a fan of that Jennings fellow, especially after his butchering of my Ulysses. And he has it all wrong, by the way. Do you know what my best poem actually is?
I don't.
That was a rhetorical question. My best poem was called In Memoriam A.H.H. I wrote it after the sudden passing of my dear friend Arthur. My dear friend. Sounds so proper and acceptable, doesn't it? Dark house by which once more I stand, here in the long and lovely street. Doors where my heart was used to beat, so quickly waiting for a hand that can be clasped no more.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
He was important to you.
Yes, he was. And not in the way that a proper friend is important to you. He had my heart, all of my heart. His hand was the only one that ever fit perfectly in mine. I loved him dearly, and I lost him tragically.
I'm so sorry.
'Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all.
Shakespeare?
No, that's mine. In the same poem, for God's sake. Did you know that I was considered something of a lady killer in my day? It's quite laughable, really. I even wrote a series of poems that came to be known as the lady poems, expressing my adoration of all things feminine. Poetry was a pretty convenient closet, wouldn't you agree? So what, my dear Diana, is your convenient closet?
I don't understand.
I'm quite certain that you do. Is it your willingness to let your family live in ignorant bliss? Will it be that you attend the fundraising dinner without your +1? Or is it perhaps your silence in this lab? You rarely speak, barely a word. If I were a betting cow, I'd say it's because you have no idea who should be the one speaking.
No, that's not true.
You what?
I am not in the closet. I know who I am. Okay? I live with a woman, for crying out loud. I'm certainly not having this conversation with the cow.
Well, at least you're finally having a conversation.
Screw you. I'm leaving. Apparently, I have to go figure out what to wear to make little boys want to slip money into my G-string. Fuck!
Diana storms off. Lesbian chorus enters.
So wait, now the cow is gay too?
Not the cow, the poet.
Alfred Lord Tennyson was actually an enigma. He loved women in his lifetime, but many people believe he only had one true love, his friend Arthur. The history books remain unclear as to the exact nature of Tennyson's orientation. Gay, straight, bisexual, asexual, masculine, effeminate, a libertine, a prude. I suppose for Tennyson that was the point. Strategic ambiguity.
Doesn't that just mean being in the closet?
Semantics.
Blackout. Scene 9. Setting, the hospital, 1980. At Rise, the hospital looks the same as the lab, except there is no cow tank in its place. There is no cow tank. In its place is a hospital bed. Just behind the bed is a monitor. We can hear its steady beep. Diana is at her mother's side. Her mother, mid-50s, is extremely weak and frail. She speaks with difficulty, but is determined to be heard. These are her dying moments.
All I wanted was to see you get married and have a family. Start your life.
I do have a life, Mom.
I know, but I'm talking about happiness, sweetheart.
I am happy.
Please, just listen. My life began when I married your father, then had Dominic, then you, my sweet, sweet girl. I remember putting your hair up in pigtails and picking out your cute little dresses. My family was my world. You all made my heart burst with such joy. I want that for you.
It's not...
Work alone is not a life.
I have more than work.
I just wanted to live long enough to see you with someone. Your husband, all those grandbabies I was hoping for.
Mom, there's something I need to tell you.
Blackout. Act 2, Scene 1. Setting, the hospital, the day before the celebration of life fundraiser. At Rise, Barney is laying in a bed. He is quite weak. His wife, Una, late 50s, librarian type, is with him. He's changed his mind and has decided to go through with the implantation. They're both teetering between hopeful and scared shitless.
Barney? Paging Dr. Clark. Are you in there? Where are you? Tell me.
Anywhere other than this damn bed.
I know, love. I know.
It's not going to work, you know?
Maybe not. But if it gives you some more time...
How much time? A week? 2 if I'm lucky?
So then don't do it. Tell them you've changed your mind. Tell them you've decided to stick with your original instinct. To die as you are. All man. Without the extraneous mechanical pieces.
I can't.
You certainly can.
No, see, all this time, all these years, doctors and medicine have kept this bum ticker ticking. Remember the last go round up in Seattle? Now it's my turn to give back. That's what some serious soul searching made me see. My small contribution to science.
Small? Barney, you're giving your life hardly a small contribution.
In the grand scheme of things, it's infinitesimal. When you think about time, the future, years from now, all the people that could benefit from my sacrifice, how this might advance cardiomyopathy treatment, I'm at peace with this decision. I am. I do wonder, though.
About what, dear?
About what the heart really does.
What do you mean?
You know, when you get excited about something, I mean real excited or real sad, and you can feel that pang in your chest. You know that feeling I'm talking about?
Of course.
What if when they take out that part of me, what if I never experience that feeling again, or any feeling? I'm not dumb, you know. I know that emotions are mental, but maybe they're not too, you know? Maybe they are tied to our bodies and our hearts in ways we can't understand.
That's beautiful.
Just simple and scary. Really damn scary.
Barney Clark, you are a poet, my love.
No.
Yes, you have a poet's soul, and no amount of surgery can take that away. They won't ever be able to cut out that which makes you, you.
I hope that's true. I really do. Because I don't know what would happen if I couldn't love you like I do now.
Una gently kisses his forehead. Blackout. Scene 2. Setting. Naya and Diana's apartment. The day of the fundraiser. At Rise, Diana is frantically rushing around the apartment. Naya makes a grand entrance, quite unexpected. Lesbian chorus is again sitting in the wings.
Okay, are you ready? You're gonna piss yourself when you see this. Drum roll, please.
Naya walks out in a long, rather feminine-looking dress and high heels. She is definitely uncomfortable, not to mention pretty wobbly. Lesbian chorus is loudly trying to stifle their laughter.
Oh my God, Naya Landry, you look like, well, like a girl. Like a girly girl. What on earth happened to you? You better be careful. The Butch Patrol is going to revoke your membership card.
Laugh it up, Chuckles. Let's just say I can dress like a lady when I need to. Besides, wouldn't want to attract the wrong kind of attention at your fancy soiree.
What do you... Wait, do you mean... Is this supposed to be for the fundraiser I'm going to tonight? When I was talking about it yesterday, it was just... Well, conversation. I wasn't asking you to...
Oh, I can't look. Just tell me when it's over.
What? Are you saying that...
Naya, I just intended to go by myself. It's not anything, just work. And there's Jennings and the ridiculous whole dog and pony show thing. Please don't read into this. It doesn't mean anything other than what it is.
You may want to keep those eyes closed. Things are about to get real ugly up in here.
And what shouldn't I be reading into?
Nine.
That you neglected to mention you were going to fly solo? That you assumed I would understand? That you're ashamed of me. Is that it?
Of course I'm not ashamed.
No, it's just us you're ashamed of.
I promise you I'm not. Ugh, I'm exhausted. I'm so sick of defending myself. This is the way the world fucking is, like it or not. And okay, so I have a job where certain things are expected of me and certain behaviors frowned upon. I am sorry. How many times do I have to apologize for my life?
Certain behaviors frowned upon? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Our life together, our relationship, that's just a behavior to you that you have to keep undercover? Is that it? Say something!
What do you want me to say? Yes, I have to keep parts of my life separate. I didn't make the world. I didn't create the prejudices.
No, but you sure as hell helped fuel them.
What is that supposed to mean?
Forcibly preventing someone from naming the terms of their own sexual desire is one thing. Voluntarily putting the gag order on yourself is another.
Oh, okay, so now we're going to hear from the grand marshals of the Pride Parade. Ladies and lesbians, the vagina inspectors. Just watch what they can do with the mirror.
Hey now!
Fuck you! At least the women in that group don't hide. At least they're honest about who they are.
In some dimly lit bookshop, after hours, with the shades drawn. Face it, Naya, the world we live in, we are all compelled to step in the closet on occasion.
Well, I guess you got me there, Doctor. How ridiculous do I look right now? In more ways than one. Enjoy your dinner.
Naya, come on. Come back, please. Let's not leave it like this.
Diana exits.
This isn't looking very good for them, is it?
The Butch put on a fucking dress and heels, for Christ's sake. Now that is love. And Diana just basically spit in her face. I give them a month tops.
It is interesting the way love can so suddenly start to unravel.
Blackout. Scene 3. Setting. The hospital. The night of the fundraiser. At Rise, Jennings is visiting the Clarks. He is in his tux. His visit stems less from concern than it does determination to keep everything on track for the procedure, which is to take place the next day.
Everything's looking good. So, tomorrow's the big day.
Tell that to my heart, Doc.
Oh, Barney.
Say, what do they do with it?
Sorry? I don't follow.
When they take the heart out, the old heart, what do they do with it? They just toss it in the trash or somehow recycle the parts?
Of course they don't. You'll have to excuse my husband, Dr. Jennings. I think nerves are starting to get the better of him.
Hey, maybe we can take it home in a jar or something. Put it on our mantle. Now, wouldn't that be a conversation starter? What do you have there, Clark? Oh, just my heart in a jar.
Unfortunately, human waste must stay on hospital premises. You'll just have to go with another dinner conversation topic. I'm sure your new refrigerator heart will do in a pinch.
Refrigerator heart?
Well, that's what some people in the press dubbed it. The system of compressors housed within this unit weighs about the same as your average refrigerator, and apparently resembles one too. Talk about dumbing it down for the American public. Anywho, stats look good. Everything's ready for tomorrow. And you'll be in excellent hands. The best team in Utah is on this surgery.
Okay, we can do this. Tell me, Dr. Jennings, will I still be me without this old heart on me?
You will be a new and improved you. Get some rest, if you can.
Jennings leaves. Barney repeatedly clears his throat, appears jittery and very frightened. Una puts her hand on his heart and begins to sing to him, "If I Only Had a Heart."
When a man's an empty kettle, he should be on his mettle, and yet I'm torn apart. Just because I'm presuming that God could be kind of human if I only had a heart.
Blackout. Scene 4, setting, the room. Same night as the fundraiser. At Rise, Naya is seeking solace with her lesbian sisters. It is open mic night.
Okay, hopefully you've all prepared something to read. Tonight's meeting is about letting others hear what you have to say, but perhaps more importantly, it's about embracing the sound of your own voice. Lesbians are mute. We're mutes, the whole damn lot of us. We're uncomfortable with our own voices for fear of being singled out, judged, ostracized, and so we stay quiet. The safe closet of quiet. Tonight, ladies, I want to hear you, loud and proud. Okay, who wants to kick things off? Come on now, we're all sisters here. I can't stress this enough. The Rue is a safe place.
Lesbian 2 walks up to the podium and pulls a folded piece of paper from her pocket.
This is a poem I recently wrote. It's not fully finished or anything, and it's pretty short. I know there are still a lot of issues with it.
Speak! Stop apologizing! Own it! Let's hear that beautiful, brilliant voice of yours.
Okay, so it's called Clairvoyant, My Burden. Clairvoyant, my burden. The melancholy woman in the attic. She's the one who will never leave. Howling at moonlight, splashing through puddles, not even allowed a swim reprieve. Gray as newspaper skin, pale as the mole living beneath dirt. Her only friend can only be a stranger, as she hasn't learned how to deal with hurt. I guess I'll go next.
Oh, our sister, the stage is yours.
I don't really have a title or anything, and it's just something I've kind of been...
Speak!
I'm a dyke. I keep my hair short, I wear men's shirts, their ties, their suit coats, even their fucking underwear. World watch out, I've got my best boxers on today. I'm a dyke. That's what I am. I'm a dyke because I love women. I love their bodies, their tits, the full-handed feel of their asses, the way my body slides like a puzzle piece in between a soft stomach and smooth, buttery thighs when we're spooning, and everything just locks into place. Pure suction. I love the way women smell. I love that yeasty, stale baby powder scent under their breasts at the end of the day. I love the scent on my fingers when I've been teasing and she's been moving. And it's that epiphany of a smell right before I make her come. I love the slick. I love the hot, wet. I love the taste of absolutely everything. I even love the blood, the vulnerability and ferocity of what it makes her then. Fuck the messiness, revel in the viscosity, for its life. I'm a dyke. And I love other things too. I love books. And art museums. I love taking lame pictures of flowers in my mom's garden. I love talking to my grandma over tea in that chipped ceramic tea bag holder shaped like an elephant's ass that she sets down in front of me all ceremonial-like. I love puppy dog breath and playing with my nephews. I love that when I get tired of them, they go home and bug the shit out of my sister. I love going for a drink with the girls from my group. I love not giving a shit what the men in those bars think of me. I love that those men are dumbstruck that I don't give a shit, and so they keep adjusting their ties and crotches for lack of knowing what to do about it. I love looking in the mirror and seeing what I see. And do you know what I see? Do you? It's a dyke, an all-American dyke.
Blackout. Scene 5, setting, the lab, later that evening, directly after the fundraiser. Set it at Rise. Diana walks in, a little rumpled. Still donning evening attire, carrying her heels. She's a little tipsy.
Hello? Anyone in here? Hello, Cal? Alfred, Mr. Lord Tennyson. Are you there now, Cal? It's me, Diana.
Pause. Harrison enters, also looking rumpled and a bit tipsy.
Hey!
Holy shit, you scared me. What are you doing here?
Question is, what are you doing here? I am checking on Tennyson's post-diuretic therapy stats from this afternoon. Yesterday's concerned me a little.
Same.
Really?
Yep, just checking on stats.
So how are they?
I just walked in, same as you.
Well, then let's check them together, shall we?
Let's check them together, shall we? Why do you always have to be so precise and proper all the time?
I don't know what you...
Well, who are you when you're not here, Harrison? What does beyond the lab Harrison look like?
Quite like in the lab, Harrison, minus the white coat.
No. I mean, who are you, really? Really?
I think someone was indulging in the open bar tonight.
And you weren't?
I drank responsibly.
Want a drink now?
What?
I've been here long enough to know some of the assistants keep a stash hidden. Some of the attendings too, I imagine. And I bet you know exactly where it is.
Harrison eyes her suspiciously at first, then smiles and makes his way over to the hidden cabinet, holding out a bottle of gin.
Dr. Jennings loves his gin. He can certainly drink me under the table, that's for sure.
Oh, I'm impressed.
This impresses you? You must be a cheap date.
Something like that.
Harrison pours gin into beakers.
I must be drunker than I thought. Down the hatch.
They do the shot. He pours another round. They both sip.
Do you ever feel like Tennyson is watching you? Maybe even judging you?
Wow, alcohol really hits you hard.
No, I'm serious. It almost feels like he's another presence in this lab.
I suppose he is a presence for all intents and purposes.
I'm not talking about a presence. More like a ghostly other.
Ghostly other? Okay, you're cut off after that one.
Diana defiantly grabs the bottle and pours herself another.
Seriously, haven't you ever thought that there are more things in heaven and earth than you dreamt of in your philosophy?
Isn't that like a famous quote or something?
Shakespeare.
What is it with all the poetry reciting around here? This is a medical laboratory. And no, I don't believe in things fluttering around heaven and earth or whatever. I'm a scientist. You're a scientist. We believe in what we can see, what we can touch, what we can experiment on to arrive at concrete conclusions. Observable truth.
You are one interesting dude. You remind me so much of this guy I knew as an undergrad, Bigsby.
Bigsby?
Jeffrey Allen Bigsby. He was very well put together, very proper. And he talks like you too.
Were you friends?
No, not really. He was my first time having sex.
Oh, that, but you weren't friends?
In the same study group for bioanthropology. I guess you could call it a dare.
A dare? Your first time was because of a dare?
No, not a dare.
You're funny, you do that a lot.
Do what?
Use a word to describe itself. Really. Presence. Dare. Okay, so if it wasn't a dare, then what kind of a dare was it?
Call it an experiment to arrive at a concrete conclusion. We were studying late. Everyone had left and it was just the two of us. He said to me then, he said, "I saw you." I didn't know what he meant. "You saw me what?" I said. "I've been watching you, watching her, Ada Mendez, all night," he said. I told him he was stupid. I said he didn't know what he was talking about. Then hey, stop hogging the bottle.
She pours some more, takes a big swig.
And so then what happened?
Well, he called me a dyke, a lesbo, got more creative and pulled out fuzz bumper, rug muncher, muff diver, clam slapper. You know the list.
No, I don't.
So, I slept with him.
You slept with him? But why?
Because I was. Because I am.
You are?
A dyke, lesbo, fuzz bumper, rug muncher, muff diver, clam slapper, all the above. But of course, I couldn't let him know that, so I fucked him. And he was my first, and I cried the whole time. Afterwards, Bigby stood up, looked hard at me for a minute, and said, "Yep, I was right. Dyke."
I'm so sorry.
Whoa.
What?
I expected a totally different reaction, so just, whoa.
What did you expect me to say?
Something about the whole being a dyke thing.
Okay.
Okay. Harrison, I'm a lesbian. I live with my partner, who is also a lesbian.
Good for you.
Good for... Who are you, and what have you done with Harrison?
You thought that I would be what? Judgmental, bigoted, closed-minded? Diana, I don't care what you do in your personal life. I don't care who you date. I don't care if you have the Harlem Globetrotters in your bed. I care that you show up to this lab and take it seriously. Which, I get, can be pretty hard when staring down a cow in a giant glass tank.
He might hear us. I don't think we should be laughing at him.
Come on.
They drunkenly tiptoe over to the cow.
Okay. Tit for tat. Sorry, poor choice. I just meant...
No offense taken.
My secret. I grew up on a farm. Well, not a farm exactly, more like a couple of dirt fields that insufficiently provided for a handful of sad-looking cows. Tennyson is downright majestic down next to our pitiful bovine specimens.
A farm boy. Ooh, deep, dark secret. One that I'm sure has gotten you ostracized, discriminated against, rejected, spit out, beat up.
Okay, I get your point, but I was embarrassed. If I'm being totally honest, I still am. I distanced myself from them, my parents. When I was in high school and my dad would come to games or functions, I would just pretend like I didn't know him. I'd just walk away from him. He was usually pretty tattered looking. I could spot his dirty hands from a mile away. I could always see the dirt on them. I heard him. He drank a lot. The older I got, the more he drank, it seems. He's pretty much a drunk now, and I haven't seen him in almost 3 years. I can't help but think that it's my fault, the drinking.
Maybe we're more alike than I thought.
How so?
Here's to the sins of the child and their extenuating guilt.
To guilt.
Is he sleeping? Wait, do cows sleep like that? Or is it horses that sleep standing up? You should know, farmer's kid.
He dies for our sins.
Who? Jesus?
The cow. He's dying. Poor Tennyson here will die soon because we've been unable to perfect the Jennings 12. And so we've gone through tens of calves. Now it's his turn. Noble Tennyson. Barney, what's his name?
Clark.
Barney Clark is going to be the beneficiary of all these dying cows on the cross. Maybe you're right. Maybe Tennyson is some kind of ghostly other. Pay no attention to the little cow in the glass tank, says the booming voice from above.
Harrison, now pretty drunk, laughs. Diana is paranoid, bracing for some sound from Tennyson. Then, a loud moo. They both jump. Harrison doubles over laughing. They eventually sit back down.
Holy fuck, that scared the living shit out of me.
Did you think about bringing your girlfriend tonight?
Diana shakes her head no.
I get it.
And you're missing +1? What's the story there?
You assume I have time to have a personal life. No, I want to get through all of the grunt work stuff, and then once I'm in a private practice making some real money, then I figure I'll find the right girl, buy the house, raise a family, live the American dream.
Your American dream.
Touche.
Harrison tops off their drinks.
My turn. Here's to going solo together and to ghostly others.
To ghostly others.
Walkout. Scene 6. Setting. Naya and Diana's apartment. Same night. Now quite late. At Rise, Naya is sitting at the kitchen table, drinking a glass of milk, obviously stewing. Diana, having sobered some, walks into the apartment.
You're up?
In sleep. How was the fundraiser?
Boring. What did you do?
Went to the Rue. We all did readings. Just basically impromptu stuff we wrote.
Oh yeah? What did you read?
Just something stupid.
I doubt it was.
Is this what you want to talk about?
I guess not. What do you want to talk about?
This is pointless.
Naya is to go.
No, wait. Sit, please.
Naya sits back down.
I'm sorry. I wish we hadn't left things like that.
So, is that why you're sorry? Because of the way things were left?
No. What? I mean, yes. I mean, listen, I don't want to fight with you.
Neither do I. I'm tired of fighting with you.
So then let's not.
That's not a solution, Diana. We can't just say, okay, we will not fight about this anymore. We can't just ignore
What
it.
is the solution then?
I don't know.
I told Harrison tonight
Told Harrison what?
about me, and about us, that I'm gay, that I live with you, my partner.
Congratulations.
I give up. What do you want me to do? Wasn't that it? Telling the people in my life, being honest about who I am? What the hell do you want from me, Naya? Nothing I seem to do is enough.
That's because you haven't done anything.
I just told you,
Harrison. Really? Who the hell is he? I'm talking about your family. Your dad. I'm talking about the world. Telling the fucking world. Bringing me to dinner. On your arm as your partner. Harrison, please. And how exactly did the topic come up with Harrison?
We were having a drink in the lab afterwards and we just started talking.
Wait a minute. You went back to your lab after and had drinks with him. Care to elaborate?
Oh, come on, Nye. Don't be like that. I went to check on Tennyson and Harrison.
Just stop. I don't care. I don't care about Harrison. I certainly don't want to hear any more about that fucking cow. I don't know what to do here.
Neither do I.
I need someone, a true partner who is as proud of me as I am of her. Who isn't embarrassed of me.
I'm not embarrassed of you.
Maybe not of me, but of the picture we make together.
You want to know the truth?
No, please lie to me.
I am Diana Vinciguerra.
No!
I wasn't finished. I am Diana Vinciguerra. That may not mean much, but to my parents, that means a lot at one time. Editor of the school newspaper, captain of the debate team, first chair clarinet, winner of countless trophies and certificates, class salutatorian, all of it.
And your point?
I was the golden child of a good old small town USA, mundanely succeeding beyond their wildest parent dreams. And not just then, all of my family, my teachers, all these adults surrounding me, praising me as the next big thing in our tiny town. And you, the next big thing has an equally big thing husband and perfect little next big thing children.
Is that supposed to make me...
Still wasn't finished. I know that this may not be true for you or any of the women in that group or any other lesbian on the face of the planet, but for me, being other than that perfect golden girl means letting everyone down. Can you understand that? Maybe I'm not saying this right, but I need you to...
No, you're saying it perfectly. You're hung up on appearances, on what everyone else thinks of you. And so that is how you're going to live your life, through someone else's lens, someone else's magnifying glass. The perfect doctor, perfect society wife, perfect PTA mom.
No, No, that's not it. It's the weight of expectation that constantly hangs on me. And being gay is...
Being gay is just some secret pastime that you dabble in.
God, you're not hearing me.
I hear you loud and clear.
I don't know how to be you. Diana Vinciguerra is all I know how to be.
She's not some third person. She's not a character in a play, but that is exactly what you are making her. Someone else writes the lines and you recite them on cue. Hi, so nice to make your acquaintance. This is my suit and tie husband, and here are my adorable hetero-conceived children. And oh yes, I just baked a blueberry fucking pie today. Bon appetit.
Stop it, please. Just shut up.
They walk to opposite ends of the stage. Both are seemingly out of breath.
We can't keep...
I know.
So what?
So then what? Why were you in the bar that night?
What are you talking about? What bar?
You were sitting alone in that gay bar, sipping some stupid pink-colored drink. And I was thinking to myself, now there is one chick who is totally a fish out of water here, and part of me wanted to tease you relentlessly. Part of me, I think, fell in love with you then. So why were you there? I don't think I ever asked you that.
Lights out, and when they come back on, Naya and Diana are sitting in 2 chairs toward the front of the stage, drinks in hand. Lesbian 3, as the bartender, is wiping up an invisible counter just off to the side while carefully listening.
Can I buy you another?
I'm all set, thanks.
First time here.
That obvious?
What's your name?
Diana. Yours?
Naya. So what do you do, Miss Diana?
Second year med student at Utah.
Oh, so is that what smells kind of like?
Ugh, formaldehyde? Yes, sadly that is me. I spend half of my life in the lab, half of my life in the hospital, and the other half locked away in my apartment studying. I have boards coming up and, sorry, I don't mean to ramble. The oh so exciting life of a med student.
No, it's fine. I'm very interested in finding out how exactly you managed to have 3 halves to your life.
I'm sorry. I'm just, well, nervous. This is my first time in a gay bar.
Everyone in here knows they're gay.
Right. Sorry. See, I'm a mess.
Yes.
Lights out. At Lights Up, the women are more relaxed, laughing and occasionally touching one another. Lesbian 2 finishes serving another round.
Wait, are you serious?
Dead serious.
You puked on a cop?
Right on his tightly creased pant leg. He asked me if I'd been drinking. I said, no, officer, and then bleh.
What happened?
Well, I was only 16, so they called my mom to come and get me.
Oh, she must have been totally pissed.
Especially after I puked on her, too.
You didn't.
Sadly and painfully, yes. My ass still has nightmares about that beating. So that's my embarrassing story. Your turn.
Lights out. When lights come back, they are sitting closer, leaning into one another.
It's getting late. Gonna be last call soon.
I don't want to go yet.
I don't want to go either.
They kiss. Lesbian 1 walks out and yells last call.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You know, I don't ever come here for more than just a hookup.
Well, I don't ever come here, period.
Lights out. At Lights Up, we are back to the kitchen scene, present time. Diana and Naya walk back to the center of the stage.
For you. You were why I went there. I didn't know it before you sat down, but 5 minutes after you did, I knew it. It was you.
In case I haven't told you, I'm glad you did go there at night. Right? It changed my fucking life.
Mine too.
They embrace.
And now?
And now,
I think it might finally be time for that last call.
Diana steps back.
what? No, but, well, wait, what are you talking about? No, how can you?
I get that coming out and living this life is not without a learning curve. Trust me, I get it. Because I've been through that learning curve. And I've been there waiting for others to master their learning curves. And I don't have the strength in me to face down yet another learning curve. I'm tired, bone tired, soul tired. And I just want to live now. Not live but, or live just until, or live and then one day. Just live. Period. You're not at that point, Diana. And that's okay.
Please. Please, I
You
can't.
I don't expect you to. I mean, I did, but I get it now. I finally see who you are in this moment. And who you are right now isn't going to work with who I am. I need you to understand that.
It can work. It will.
It won't.
Diana starts to cry. Naya embraces her and kisses the top of her head.
It's just you're going to be okay. I promise you, kid. You will figure things out.
Both women are crying. Diana and Naya exit. Lesbian chorus enters.
Another one bites the dust. Fucking closet.
Love needs space. It needs room to grow.
What love needs is for people to see it. When no one sees it, can you even say it exists? You don't know if the cat is dead or alive until you open the box. Same with love.
What the hell's a dead cat got to do with anything?
She's talking about Schrodinger's cat.
Whose cat?
There's a theory in physics called the observer effect. A physicist named Schrodinger proposed the following scenario. You have a sealed box and it contains a cat. There's a potential for poisonous gas to fill this box and kill the cat. So does the gas seep into the box? Does the cat die? Until an observer opens up the lid and sees what happened. Until that moment, the cat exists as both alive and dead. Now, Schrodinger's point was that this metaphysical state of limbo is quite ridiculous.
Huh?
I believe that when it comes to the lesbian love story, the observer effect is a very real phenomenon. Love can really only exist in a state of frustrating limbo, alive, dead, who knows, until someone else sees it and can vouch for it. Only then is that love real. Only then does it have a fighting chance. Do you understand?
Uh-huh.
I do hope Diana's going to be okay.
Me too.
Blackout. Scene 7. Setting. The hospital. 1980. At Rise, Diana's mother is in the hospital bed. Diana and her father occupy 2 chairs positioned as to suggest a fall just outside the mother's room.
I guess I should go in now.
Diana's father is bent over praying on rosary beads, oblivious to what is going on around him. Diana walks toward the room and is interrupted by a strangely ominous version of her father's voice.
Don't do it, Diana.
She turns back, but he's still bent over praying the rosary.
What did you say?
Nothing. Why?
Diana resumes walking toward the room.
Let her last moments be happy. Let her go in peace.
Diana turns and sees her father lost in prayer.
Dad?
What is it?
Never mind.
Diana walks over to her mother's bed, and there's the steady beep of the monitor.
Mom, I have something to tell you.
What, sweetie?
It's just that I need to say...
Diana, what is it? You're scaring me.
I need to tell you that I'm gay. I prefer being with women. Say something. Please?
No.
Mom?
The look on her mother's face will go from confusion to denial to horror. This will comprise the bulk of her reaction, such that will permanently haunt Diana.
No. Mom, please. No. Mom, please. No. 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 Mom, please.
The monitor then flatlines. Remaining lesbian chorus rush over and assume the roles of nurse and doctor. Diana looks on in horror. Blackout. Scene 8. Setting. The hospital. Present. At Rise, a stand-in Barney lies in bed with an oxygen mask covering most of his face. He's connected to various tubes all lining into the refrigerator unit next to him. Una is at his side.
At least you got some more time, my love.
She kisses his forehead. Barney starts to code. Lesbian chorus members again enter as medical staff is trying to resuscitate him. Una is pushed off to the side. Spotlight is focused on the refrigerator to which Barney's heart is attached. The top part of the refrigerator door opens. Barney directly addresses the audience from within the refrigerator.
Cardiomyopathy comes in several different forms with a number of hard-to-pronounce names. What it amounts to is the heart's inability to pump blood to the rest of the body. It also affects the heart's capacity to maintain a normal rhythm, so the glug, 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 glug gets replaced by a far less catchy beat. There are many songs written about the way a heart beats. Heartbeat by Buddy Holly. Can't You Hear My Heartbeat? Herman's Hermits. There Never Was a Fool, Buck Owens, just to name a few. The symptoms of cardiomyopathy, beyond a screwed up rhythm rendering your heart unsuitable for song, include fatigue, fever, insomnia, weight loss, swelling of hands and feet, chest pain, dizziness, fainting, shortness of breath, loss of appetite, depression, loss of social life, loss of any kind of life, sexual dysfunction, the unspoken resentment of your spouse, an inability to work, panic at how you will pay the bills, more panic, suicidal ideation, anger, envy at those who are fully alive, shame because you're envious, kicking yourself, blaming genetics, blaming your parents, blaming the doctors, blaming the people who get cured magically on TV medical shows, fear of missing out on everything, worry about who your wife will marry next, worry about what kind of father he'll be to your kids, worry that no one will miss you, despair, more weakness, panic attacks, more shortness of breath, cursing God, kidney failure, organ failure, congestive heart failure, death. Unless, of course, you're lucky enough to get a heart transplant. Don't hold your shortened breath, though. Those in need of a heart outnumber donors by thousands. As an alternative, there is the total artificial heart solution where you get to be anchored to this for the rest of your life. Not ideal, but it can buy you some time. Side effects of a refrigerator heart implantation include not being able to leave your bed ever, becoming an instant news sensation, being poked and prodded in the name of science, floating in and out of consciousness, pain everywhere, your body filling up with fluids, your wife's constant crying, daily medical tests, hourly needle sticks, weakness everywhere, fear, worry, dread, blaming the doctors, blaming the nurses, blaming the people on TV dramas who get cured at the end of the hour, blaming God, kidney failure, organ failure, heart failure, death.
Blackout. Scene 9. Setting. An apartment. Hypothetical future. At Rise, stand-in Diana has her back to the audience and is at the kitchen counter packing lunchboxes. She's wearing a bathrobe and her hair is in curlers under her cap. Harrison enters in a suit and tie holding a briefcase. Harrison talks to Diana while she is busy at the counter. She does not turn around.
I'm off, Diana. Kids are up fighting over the bathroom. What's new? Oh, can you pick up my dry cleaning this afternoon? I need the shirt that's in there for the Miller's dinner tonight. Make sure to confirm with the sitter. You should wear that green dress you just bought. You know, the one with the big collar? I love that on you. Okay, hon. I'll see you around 6.
Harrison kisses her quickly on the cheek and exits. Top portion of the refrigerator opens. Diana addresses the audience from within.
Homosexuality comes in a few different forms with a lot of not so nice names. What it amounts is the heart's unwillingness to love who it's supposed to love. It can affect the heart's ability to respond normally to the appropriate stimuli. There are no songs, no movies, no TV shows about the homosexual heart. Your heart, homosexual deviant, is wholly unsuitable for song. Symptoms of homosexual heart include shame, guilt, fear, ostracism from friends, ostracism from family, ostracism from respectable institutions, ostracism from everything, closet syndrome, desperate longing to be yourself, paranoia at being yourself, loneliness, depression, envy at your normal friends' lives, anger at being envious, heart pain, head pain, everywhere pain, self-imposed isolation, societal-imposed isolation, religious-imposed isolation, political-imposed isolation, being spit at, sworn at, kicked, punched, beat up, wondering if you'll always be alone, wondering if there are really others out there like you, wondering why you love who you love is more important than who you are, darkness, suicidal ideation, heartbreak. It's an alternative you can choose to lead a heteronormative life, therefore hiding all traces of your true self. Selfhood overall is overrated. Perhaps not the ideal solution, but it can buy you, well, some time until, who knows. Side effects of self-closeting include shame, guilt, fear of being found out, fear of staying in the closet, self-hatred, self-loathing, growing rage and resentment, general bitterness upon humanity, resignation in giving an unhappy life, self-castration, intense sexual frustration, increasing depression, never fitting in, suicidal ideation, blaming God, blaming your parents, blaming your carefully chosen spouse, blaming your children, cursing your abnormal heart, replacing that heart with an artificial version, fake smiles, fake laughs, fake personality, a lifetime prescription of Prozac, alcoholism, drug addiction, fear of missing out, low self-esteem, no self-esteem, invisibility, voicelessness, helplessness, despair.
Blackout. Scene 10. Setting. The lab. Present. At Rise, Harrison and Jennings are busily working. Diana enters.
That's why this is absolutely critical. With Barney expiring sooner than hoped. There you are, Miss Vinciguerra. May I have a word?
Sure.
Jennings brings her off to the side, not quite out of Harrison's earshot.
I assume you've heard about Dr. Clark.
Yes, I did. I'm sorry.
Then you know we're under the gun now more than ever to produce results. I am under the gun to create a prototype that will give patients like Barney Clark some real time.
Certainly.
I'm releasing you from your duties pertaining to this fellowship.
What?
Harrison looks up, surprised.
Everything we do in this lab from here on out will be intensely scrutinized.
But I don't understand.
We are going to be under a microscope here. I cannot risk anything going awry. In the slightest, and I cannot take any chances with public perception. Continued FDA approval is riding on this.
Public perception? What do you mean?
How you live your life is your business. Who I choose to have work in this lab is mine. Do you understand? We can't chance having someone of your, well, let's just say, maintaining the utmost propriety is my sole concern at the moment.
Wait, what? I've worked my butt off, and now this is... Who are you to...
Eloquently spoken, as always. Harrison, I'll be by again about 4 this afternoon. Have those numbers ready for me. Ms. Vinciguerra, I'll expect you to be cleared out within the hour.
Jennings leaves.
I can't believe... How is this happening? First Naya and then...
She flops down on a stool, utterly exasperated and resigned.
How does he even know? I give up. I can't take anymore.
Harrison takes his stool next to hers.
Well, I was wrong about him. He's a bit of a prick, you know. Never gave you a real chance.
I never took my chance. Not really. Did you say something to him?
No, I swear I didn't. I don't know how he might have known. And he doesn't have the right to fire you just because of...
He does. He has all the rights. It's his lab. It's his world.
For whatever it's worth, I came to enjoy working with you. Sort of.
Thank you, Harrison. It does mean something.
I'm sorry, I actually have a meeting, or I'd stay.
No, go. It's all right.
I'll see you later, okay?
Harrison leaves.
Have you ever read The Lady of Shalott?
Tennyson sounds far less energetic than in previous scenes.
Of course you're here now. Whew, let's see. Guys, maybe in high school, I don't remember. Is it yours?
Yes, it is. There are 2 versions of that poem. Do you know why?
Rhetorical question?
You're catching on. The primary difference between the 2 versions comes at the end. The poem is about a woman who is cursed, and so she's been locked in a tower, forced to see life only through a mirror. She's not allowed to look directly at the world, just at reflections. One day, Sir Lancelot passes by the tower, window, brilliant and gallant, and a manly sight to behold. He sings deep and loud. The lady is intrigued. She can't bear it any longer. The isolation, the loneliness, the unknown. And so she looks out the window and into the world. But alas, the mirror cracks and the curse begins. Rather than wait for whatever it is that will soon befall her, she decides to venture out of her tower, singing her very own song at the top of her lungs for all to hear. She finds a boat and makes her way toward Camelot, but in the midst of her song, she tragically dies. People find her, this unknown lady of Shalott, lying lifeless in a washed-up boat. This is where Lancelot, our symbol of heroic masculinity, has the last words. She had a lovely face, he says.
That's so depressing.
Yes, it is quite terrible. However, that ending was not my original one. The first was a bit different. You see, the 1832 publication of the poem ended with people looking down at this woman's body, but this time there was a note that she herself had written and pinned to her chest. It said, "The web was woven curiously, the charm is broken utterly. Draw near and fear not. This is I, the Lady of Shalott."
So, it's like her suicide note?
No, think poetically. The lady wanted only to speak for herself. She longed for a voice, and because she had no idea what the curse would bring, she prepared a note ensuing that she was the one who would have the last word. Far more inspiring than Lancelot's lovely face comment, wouldn't you agree?
So why'd you change the original ending?
Why do we do anything? Concerned about what others will think, how they will judge us, the literary powers that be disapproved, big no-no, as you might say. So I did what they wanted, and I took away her voice, giving the hero, Lancelot, the good lines.
I'm sorry. I'm just not in the mood for literary analysis at the moment. It's been a really shitty couple of days.
Well, then I shall leave you to untangle all of that when you're up to it.
Are you coughing? Cows cough?
Cows talk?
Right. Are you okay?
It's like on your, what do you call them, soap operas.
Huh?
A character will cough or sneeze, and then lo and behold, 2 episodes later, they're lying in a hospital bed receiving last rites.
What?
It's the dramatic build-up. My time here is nearly at its end. I will die soon. It's been a pleasure conversing with you, Dr. Vinciguerra. I have cherished our talks.
But how do you know? Maybe you're not.
I am. It was inevitable. My purpose here was but to die. I had a good run. Or rather, this odd, extraordinary refrigerator heart did.
I'm not even sure what to say right now.
You know, rumor has it that my replacement is to be named Yoda. Try not. Do or do not. There is no try. Goodbye, my friend.
Seriously? After everything, that's what you're leaving me with? Yoda?
All right. How about this, then? I am a part of all that I have met, including you. Adieu, Diana.
Bye, Tennyson.
Blackout. Scene 11. Setting. Emptied out lab. A few days later. At Rise, Jennings sits on the floor with a near-empty gin bottle next to him. Where Barney's bed used to be is now a table covered with artificial hearts. Harrison enters.
It's done. Finished. Complete. All of it. The work on Jennings 14. Out the door.
Dr. Jennings, are you okay? Why are you sitting on the floor? What happened? What's done?
What happened? What's done? What's with all the questions, man? The FDA has ordered the destruction of all the remaining prototypes. We have to destroy the hearts, all of them, every last one. My life's work. Poor little mechanical lambs being led to slaughter.
Destroy the... Why?
They revoked approval. Fucking FDA. This was changing lives. People say we're playing God. Hell yes we are, and doing a fuck better job of it.
So what happens now?
Jennings stands clumsily.
What happens now is you go and get a damn scalpel, and you come back here and puncture those poor sons of bitches. They won't feel a thing. They're artificial after all.
Are you alright, Dr. Jennings?
Stop already with the incessant questions. At least that little Venezuelan girl didn't talk much. Hey, did you know she was a dyke? For fuck's sake, how did I miss that?
Is that why you fired her?
You're not getting all morally righteous on me, are you, Harrison? Dykes and faggots? The lot of them? Don't they just make your skin crawl? And then with that plague out there that's killing off all the gays?
I have no problem with homosexuals.
Yeah, well, doesn't matter who works here, or who doesn't now anyway. Here won't be here pretty soon. Why don't you grab that scalpel and just Just get on with it.
Harrison walks towards the table.
I can't watch. It's like a father bearing witness to his children being mercilessly. I think I'm going to be sick.
Jennings rushes off stage. Harrison stands over the hearts wielding a scalpel.
Kind of morbid, right? And I mean that in a totally unscientific way, of course, but daggering up all these little hearts like this. Is this a dagger I have here in my hand? Let me then hold thee nowest and stabbest thee. Something like that, William Shakespeare. I know these are hearts in name only. Really Jennings in name only. The heart part's something of an afterthought to the ego of science. And still, this thing here beat in Mr. Clark for 112 days. 112 days it kept him human. Kinda. What exactly does it mean to be human?
He holds up the heart.
Is it this? Man-made tangle of wires and tubes attached to some refrigerator that you drag around with you? Is being alive a state of mind? I think, therefore I am, right? So what makes someone truly alive? This? 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 My dad took me on my first hunting trip when I was 12. Put a rifle in my hand and said, only rule is, we eat what we kill. So don't fuck up the shot. Big old doe walks out in front of us. I freeze, nearly wet myself. My dad, cool as a cucumber, aims. Psh. Later we were field dressing her, and while my father was gutting the deer, I noticed the heart was still beating. Dad, I said, Dad, she's still alive. Look. That ain't nothing, he said. It's a little bit of blood running through her is all. She's dead. Trust me, boy, she's dead. Here, he said. If it'll make you feel better.
Harrison violently stabs an artificial heart. Blackout. Scene 12, setting National Conference on LGBTQ Health, 2022. There's a podium set up. At Rise, Diana, now in her mid-60s, is milling around talking to people. Naya, around 70, is also there. Lesbian chorus emerges from crowd.
Diana has certainly come a long way. Giving the keynote address, world-renowned LGBTQ family building and end-of-life care expert. I say she's done us proud.
She looks so old.
Can you believe that it's been 40 years since Barney Clark?
But I don't get it. She looks like that, and we don't look any different.
It's called suspension of disbelief.
People really gonna buy that?
2 words, talking cow.
Good point.
Oh, look. Naya's here too.
Oh, sadly, they're not here together.
Come on. Couldn't you have at least prefaced with spoiler alert?
Not all love stories can have that happy Hollywood ending, I suppose.
Lesbian chorus blends back into crowd.
Naya? Naya Landry?
Diana? Oh my God.
They embrace.
It's been a minute.
Decades. I can't believe it's really you. What brings you here?
I'm actually on a panel looking at how to improve health access for LGBTQ people of color. This is the first time I've been back to Utah in a long while. I live in Charlotte now.
That's terrific. I'm sorry for staring. It's just, I still can't believe you're right here in front of me. And you look, well, exactly the same.
Right back at you. But what brings you here?
Ah, you assume I left. No, I stayed right here in Salt Lake. I'm semi-retired now, but I still have a private practice. Do consulting work for the hospital, a little bit of everything.
Wow. Good for you. Man, Diane Vinciguerra. Look at you.
The 2 women look at each other, seemingly studying one another.
I'm speaking in just a bit.
I saw.
I think tonight the Lesbian Health Fund reception. Are you going?
Wouldn't miss it.
Good. I'd love to catch up some more, and I would really like for you to meet my wife.
You're married?
Yep. Rachel and I have been blissfully wed for 8 years now. Married life suits me, I think. You?
I was engaged once upon a time. My God, that was like 15 years ago. Didn't work out. Now, much too old to bother with all that.
Nonsense. You don't seem a day over 50.
You're way too kind.
Dr. Vincegera has dedicated her career to improving end-of-life healthcare options for members of the LGBTQ community. She's been integral in moving the state of Utah toward more inclusive family building practices. Her list of awards and recognitions is almost too long to list. The recipient of...
The voices become muffled as the focus comes back to Diana and Naya.
I suppose that's my cue.
Take away.
It really is so great to see you, and I look forward to catching up later tonight.
Me too.
Diana walks to the podium. Naya looks on wistfully.
Science is a funny thing. It exists because we live in a universe of probable facts. An equation works, a scientific theory is born, and that theory eventually becomes truth, empirical truth. There you have it, science. But let me tell you why science is funny. It is because empirical truth isn't really truth at all. There's so much more beyond just what we can see, taste, hear, and smell, beyond that which is able to be experimented on, and that is coming from a doctor. Truth is conceived of only by imperfect human senses. Well, that's just crazy talk. A good friend of mine, a writer by the name of Alfred Lord Tennyson, wrote, "Like truths of science waiting to be caught, catch me if you can. I am truth. You are truth. We are all truths, unwilling to be caught and categorized for the sake of science. Today, we truths stand here together, fighting for the improvement of medical access and healthcare for the LGBTQ community, fighting for our voices to be heard, fighting for equality. The truth of us, of who we are, is undeniable. Some people might argue that if you strip all of this off, this hair, skin, muscle, and flesh, we are essentially the same skeleton, same organs, same brain, same heart. But I beg to differ. That is only the empirical truth of who we are. The actual truth is quite different. Every brain, each heart possesses far more meaning than what the senses alone can perceive. And the only thing that is irrefutable is that in every heart, whatever form that heart may take, lay the capacity to love in its own gloriously truthful way."
Blackout. The end.